Frequency 1138 is all clear and clanker free. This is Clone Army Radio.
What is up, Clone Army? We are back. We are back for the Clone Wars. And this is part 2 of The Tragedy of a Clone. Talking about our dude Fives. And I sort of stole his name, so I am CT5555. Fives. And the person with the laughter over there is Cuatros.
Yo, what is up?
Dude, you gotta do it.
Oh, human cyborg relations.
There it is. See, this time I got your name right, and you forgot the noise.
Yeah.
We're like two peas in two different pods.
Two different pods, right.
So, last week we talked about... Wow, I don't even remember the names of the episodes. What do you got for me, Cuatros? You got the names?
They were The Unknown and Conspiracy.
Huh. We were just talking about conspiracies. Noise.
Pretty topical.
Right. And then this week we have The Fugitive. And
Orders
66.
Oh, interesting. Good.
Yes. So, before we hit all that, fours, quattros, beep, boop, boop, boops.
Yep.
Did you hear that there is a new Knights of the Old Republic game in the works?
I heard a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really say, like, who's developing the game or anything. They just said that it's, I think, in, like, pre-development.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's official. My thoughts on that, as much as I love Knights of the Old Republic, I'm a little concerned about what it'll be like. Because it's not, I doubt they're not going to have BioWare working on it, which is probably okay because I think BioWare is like a totally different group of people since they made the first one. But like, what's his name? Drew, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Drew Karpyshyn, the guy that wrote the first game. He also wrote some Baldur's Gate games, Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, Mass Effect. He's written some books, some Star Wars books. If they could somehow get that dude on board, then my excitement level would go up. Just because, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to expect here. I'm trying to think of how many years ago that game came out. 2003, I think. So you're looking at 17 years. And then the Sith Lords, the sequel, I don't remember. That was just, a year or two after. So, roughly 15, 16 years since they made one of those games. Obviously, technology is way better now. But is the writing?
Yeah. What about that the online, was that part of it too? The MMO?
They kind of... See, that's the thing I think happened, and I might be wrong, but they were going to make a Knights of the Old Republic 3, and then I think that was when EA stepped in and told BioWare, no, make this MMO. We want to compete with Warcraft, which I doubt they have, and they wanted to get this money maker. So I think they set the Old Republic is it's like I forget how many years, a couple hundred years after Knights of the Old Republic 2. So it's in that storyline, I guess, but it's not, it's not a sequel. It's
Oh,
I think. And so yeah, I mean, this game's supposed to be like RPG. I don't think it's going to be MMO, at least, and an actual part 3 to that story. So you have like KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, the Old Republic, and then you're going to go back, a little bit to wherever KOTOR 3 is.
gotcha.
I think. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a new Star Wars game, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
That they want to step back into there. Maybe we'll see something, with Darth Revan, which would be cool. But I guess it all really depends on who's making the game and who's writing it. They should have us write it, just throwing it out there. But I don't know. I mean, do you have any thoughts on it, or?
I mean, I remember playing those Knights of the Old Republic games and thinking they were they were pretty immersive experience, and the
Yes.
stories were pretty great. And I never beat either one. I got close, I think, on the second one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I never went to finish them. I would just get bogged down in something. It's kind of weird. Well, in the first one, I got bogged down at the mission where you're like underwater, and like I just didn't have it in me to keep going. I don't know, something happened. And in the second one, I couldn't decide what I couldn't go either light side or dark side. I got to this point where you needed to decide like if you were the light side or dark side.
Oh, okay. I sort of remember that.
And I couldn't decide, and I couldn't go back. And I was like, I think I was so in the middle that I couldn't to pick one side. I would have to like kind of retrace my steps, answer a bunch of questions that they give you. And I just didn't want to put any more time into it. I think I was just done. But I remember them being super cool, and I loved the force powers and the turn-based kind of action. I think that's a lot of fun. I like doing it that way instead of just real-time strategy or something.
Mhm.
I like being able to like think for a little bit and be like, oh, I got to heal my guys. Be a good time to do it, or we can all attack, or we can use our cool weapons. I don't know.
Right.
So I think if they make another one, I definitely get it. I'll definitely play it, and I'll definitely have a lot of fun. So that's my thoughts. I think if it's such a long way away, probably by now. Because if we're just getting that they're starting now, I mean, then we're probably a couple of years away. So.
Oh yeah, probably like at least 5 years.
I mean, yeah, the anticipation is there, but it's kind of like a brooding level right now until they get a date and maybe some cutscenes or something about it.
Right.
A little trailer.
Yeah, like
be
a
like,
teaser
oh,
trailer
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Some sort of teaser or something going. See some characters and some lightsabers lighting up. I mean, then I'll be all about it. But I think at this point, it's just like, all right, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. They are definitely immersive games. And, something I didn't mention was that Obsidian did Sith Lords, the second one. I'd be cool if they were part of this new game, because Obsidian makes some really fantastic games. Just off the top of my head, that one and Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Fallout New Vegas I beat that one. That was good.
That was probably the best Fallout game, I think. I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with Obsidian. They also did that, I haven't played it yet, Outer Worlds or something?
Oh, yeah. Outer Worlds. I played that, a little bit of that.
I think I played a demo for it or something, or a beta. I don't remember. It seemed like it would be cool, but I have so many games that I have had for years that I haven't played yet. So
Right. It's pretty much Fallout in space, which kind of Fallout is already kind of like almost a sci-fi space thing, but
Yeah.
But there was really no difference. Just weapons, I guess. Little shrinking
Okay.
weapons.
The shrinking weapons, nice.
Yeah, shrink things, shrink your enemies. I don't know, but it's the same thing. Go and do take care of this for me, and I'll give you something. You know, I can't move. I can't go take care of it for some reason. But
I
you
need to sit in this chair while you do it.
Yeah, you do it. You want it so bad. You go and take care of it. I'll be right here. I would literally right here when you get back. And take your time. And then here's like 10 other along the way. Here's like 10 other things you got to do from 10 other people. I've played those games way too much. It's the same thing. I mean, it's Fallout. I mean, what is it? Oblivion. You know.
Yeah.
Skyrim. I mean, Morrowind. All those type of games are pretty much the same thing.
Dude, speaking of Morrowind, and I know we're kind of going off the rails here of what our topic is, but I would love to see a remake of Morrowind, like with today's technology, with voice actors. I think you actually were the one that turned me on to Morrowind. You were like, dude, you got to play this, and I was like, oh my god! As soon as I started playing it, I'm like, yeah, I do got to play this. It was so cool back in the day. I actually own it still, but there's a lot of reading in a video game. I don't know if I can do that. If I'm gonna read, I'm gonna read a book or research something. But for its time, it was definitely one of the best games.
For sure, I bought that on like every system it came out for, and played it, and got to the same spot in every single one, and I couldn't get past it. I came to Vivek City, I think it was called. I got to there, and then there was some mission that you had to like take care of, and I could never figure it out, and I never researched it to like try to figure it out. You had to like do something in that city. I could never get past it, but I could fly in it. I could do all kinds of stuff. You had the boots, the flying boots.
Oh, right, dude, and that's one of the things too with those games back then. Because I had mentioned not too long ago that I was trying to play Knights of the Old Republic again. And you don't realize how much new games hold your hand until you go back and play older games. Because there's no waypoints to where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't even save, you have to like go to your base or something to save your game.
Right.
And then you go back and I forget which game it was. It was like a Nintendo game that released, I think, on the PS4, like almost like a remaster. And you get 2 or 3 lives, and when you're done, you start all the way back at the beginning of the game. Not say you get like 5 levels in, you don't start there. You start back at the beginning and have to work your way through. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And I used to play those games, as I'm sure you did as a kid. And we knocked them out. We got them done. And I think now games just hold your hand. You can save your game whenever you want. You can start off where you left off at checkpoints, and you just don't realize it until you go back and play. Like Knights of the Old Republic, there were parts I haven't gotten back to it in a while because I started playing different games. But there's parts where I'm like, I actually have to Google this. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. And I'm like, I didn't do that the first time I played it, like in 2003 or whenever it came out. I'm like, I didn't need to look for anything. I just played the game. It's just crazy.
Well, I remember playing games like Sonic the Hedgehog for the Genesis, and like my most vivid memory is the first board, because that's pretty much all I could beat. So you just play the first board over and over again.
Nice.
And then get to the second board, lose all your lives, and then go back to the first board. Just I knew all the tricks in the first board. Where to find all the shields and all the extra coins and all that, and where to find all the lives. But yeah, once you get to the second board, it was like a whole another game, and it's just like It's time to die and then start back.
Oh, that's funny. I would love to go back and play some Sonic, man. Those were fun.
Yeah, they were.
All right, so moving on to the Clone Wars.
That's why I'm here.
This episode is the third in the Fives arc called The Fugitive. And in the intro, it says something along the lines of Fives being under arrest, right? So after that, the episode starts and Shaak Ti tells Fives that they're going to run, a few more tests, and then he can go back to the 501st.
Right.
Little confusing there, I think, right? Maybe she doesn't know that he's under arrest, or he's not really under arrest. I don't know. I got confused there.
You mean in the the little recap part?
Yeah. It said Fives is under arrest. I wish I would have wrote it down. I did not.
I got it right here if you want me to go through it.
Yeah.
Cause of the death unknown. Kaminoan Dr. Nelise was unable to find cause of an illness in Clone Trooper Tup. In a desperate attempt to save his friend's life, Fives located and removed a tumor from Tup's brain. With the help of the medical droid AZ-3, immediately following the procedure, Tup died, and Fives was placed under arrest. There it is. Now the tumor is the only hope for finding answers to Tup's mysterious illness. A little recap from on Wikipedia for the episode.
So then you start, and I mean, to me, he didn't look like he was under arrest.
He was just kind of hanging out there, and
Shaak Ti tells him, he can go back to the 501st. Just like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was, and that was him being not under arrest anymore. But then those guards are leading him down the hallway,
right?
And he runs into AZ. I love hello, Fives.
You learn, see? Droids are capable of learning.
Oh, it's so funny. But he tells them that he heard they were getting their memories wiped, him and Fives, and that Fives was going to be left on Kamino for sanitation duties.
Right. I got a quick question. Sorry
to
interrupt. Can clones get their memories wiped like droids like that?
No, I don't think so. I think that's just like droid maybe not understanding what they're going to do to Fives, I guess.
Oh, I gotcha. They're going to actually just take Fives out.
Probably. Yeah. I think maybe that makes more sense at least.
That's scary. Yeah.
So I think that, Nalase and Lama Su have other plans which I don't really think we know this, they have other plans that they're not telling Shaak Ti.
Of course. And they're trying to hide the whole reason for the chip. I mean, that's the whole thing. That they're kind of tiptoeing around everything is they're trying to hide that fact that chip's in there for a reason, and they don't want to give up the reason.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to shut this thing down.
Right. So what you said, I guess, makes sense that, maybe they were marching Fives off to do a little firing squad in some, closed off place of Kamino and take him out,
Yeah. Well, you think they could just, if they want to take him out so bad, like they could just kind of just hit him with some some kind of. They keep showing like this little. They keep shoving something into his neck,
right?
Little cartridge of some sort. So you think if they want him to take him out, they could have just used one of those.
I think I think that they would probably be concerned that Shaak Ti would somehow get a hold of the body and do an autopsy or something.
Oh, and find that, yeah.
So I think they're
kind of right there too.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be as cautious about what they're doing as possible to make it look. I think they want to make it look like Fives caused his own death. I think is what they're shooting for.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I'm getting my wires crossed here. Is that the part before Fives sees AZ in the hallway? Is that the part when that droid in the room with Fives, Shaak Ti, and Nalase, the droid switches cases. Is that the part?
right before they leave the room, you see the other medical droid that looks like AZ3 switch to cases because Shakti's like, we're not sending the tumor to Palpatine yet. We're gonna take it to the Jedi Temple. So now let's say Shakti's going back on what she's what she was gonna do last episode.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be like, no, we're sending this to Jedi Temple. They need to see this. You know what I mean? These troopers are like under our command, and we need to know what's going on with these guys. And then we'll send it to Coruscant's medical facility, the Grand Republic. And Nalisay is like, all right, what can Nalisay say? She protests, but she can't really say anything. So
right,
she's gonna let Shakti do it.
She kind of bows out, knowing that she's already got her backup plan with the droid to swap the cases.
Swap the cases and take out Fives, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So Fives sees the droid do that, but doesn't, he doesn't speak up or anything. He just kind of, I think he's already got in his mind that he's not going wherever they're taking him. I don't think he's made his decision already, but so in the hallway after he talks to AZ, he kind of snaps and beats up those clones, pushes one of the Kaminoans down.
Right.
And then they run in and he discovers that, he's right, that Nalisay swapped the cases, and he takes the case that was left there with the chip in it, and then they're on the run after that.
Dude, and it becomes straight out of the movie The Fugitive at this point.
Right? I know, right? I mean, they're not shy about it. They named the episode The Fugitive, and
right. Oh yeah, no, they named it Fugitive, so it wasn't the same.
Right, yeah. But it's so, yeah.
Well, I was thinking like, man, Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones showing up in this episode, because I mean, it was like straight up, it wasn't me, it was the one-armed man.
Yep. I know, Shakti totally in one spot reminds me of it's when they take off in that pod and she runs up with those clones, and I'm like, that's totally Tommy Lee Jones there.
Yeah. And Fives is doing some good stuff too. Like I totally thought Fives was gonna go fly away with AZ, and that Fives runs away, and he goes to the docking bay, and like there's like a pilot coming out of one of those little round spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
He takes that guy, kind of knocks him out, and takes his spaceship, and then they fly away. But they just set it on autopilot and then jump out in the middle of the water.
Right.
Which is a smart move. And he's like, we're going to go back and going to do some more research on this chip. So it's not right.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like that he asks AZ if he can float before they jump out too. I love the little bond between these two. It's funny.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was in my notes. Fives he's very smart. He knew they were going to track. He knew they were going to track that ship. So he bought himself some time to do more research. Although, I don't think he knew that AZ was going to turn into like a Kaminoan Sea-Doo,
Totally. I know. I think he's got all kinds of tricks up its sleeve.
Right? It's a pretty sweet droid, as most Star Wars droids are. So I forget what he says. He steps up onto AZ, so he can drive him. And like AZ's face goes underwater and he's all like, and AZ's like, a thank you would have been nice.
Yeah. The droids are snappy, man. They're funny. Got some sass to them, which is good.
I know. Star Wars just, man, they nail the droids so well. So yeah, they're on their way back, and you cut over to Nalisay talking to Tyrannus.
Yes, the Tyrannus conversation. Yes.
Right. He inquires about the chip, and she tells him it was stolen by a renegade clone, and he asks something, how dangerous is this or whatever, and she says, basically says Fives doesn't know anything.
Right.
But you could tell Tyrannus is doubting her, and he's getting a little mad. He's like, "Are you sure these soldiers will live up to your design in the end?" And she assures him that it'll be fine once they get Fives, and blames him being a renegade on the Jedi because they inspire free thinking amongst the clones, which I thought was interesting. It's true. And and then he asks if it'll interfere with Protocol 66, and Nala Se's eyes, like, to me, her eyes like kind of widened a little bit.
Yeah.
And she looks either like frightened, maybe, I don't know. She just doesn't seem very confident here, and I guess for good reasons. You don't want to cross a Sith Lord.
A Sith Lord?
Yes.
A Sith Lord?
Yeah.
And she says she's certain, and Tyrannus tells her to basically get the chip.
Get that chip.
Right. Get that chip, or there's going to be some lightning in your future.
What do you think about that whole line about the subsequent divergent behaviors due to the Jedi instilling creative thinking in their troops? Like, do you think that's true? Because, I mean, do the Jedi do the Jedi really say, "Hey, you guys, you should think for yourselves"? Here's my reasoning, because I only see the Jedi's kind of like ordering them around. I never see them being like, "You should go and figure it out by yourselves, guys, and take care of it." I don't know.
Usually, yeah, they're barking orders at them. But the very first episode of the Clone Wars, Yoda teaches, I wish I remembered their names, those three clones. I think one of them was Thyre. Basically, like, it was those three and Yoda against a whole droid battalion, and Yoda sits them down and tells them to take off their helmets, and they're like, you're just going to see the same face 3 times. And Yoda basically tells them that the Force works through everything and everyone. And he like goes down, the list of the 3 clones and tells them what each of their strengths are, basically. And it ends up inspiring them to, help Yoda defeat the droid battalion and complete the mission that they were on that planet. So I think that in some ways they do. They may not just be like, oh, go free think this, but I think that they are kind of teaching these clones that they can be individuals. And then any of them that follow Anakin, they're going to do what, as they see, they see him doing, they're going to kind of follow in those footsteps. So I think, I agree with you that most of the time, you're seeing them, hey, go do this, you go there, no, don't do that. They're just barking orders at them. But I think in a lot of ways too, that they're also, yes, I think they are inspiring them to be free thinkers.
Okay.
That's my thought, at least. Because I think you see that a lot with, just the main clones, at least, Captain Rex and Commander Cody. Well, Cody, I think, is more of a straightforward soldier. Like, he follows orders. They don't show Cody a lot, I've noticed. He's kind of here and there, but he definitely does not have the focus that Captain Rex has.
Right. Because, and here's my thing. Later on in the episode, the fast forward to the very end, like almost one of the last lines, Shaak Ti, because there's this little back and forth between who's in charge of the clones, or who owns the clones. You know what I mean? And let's say is like, they belong to Kamino, they're Kaminoan property. And, they start throwing this word property around. And
right.
then, so, it kind of like, makes me think of like slavery and whatnot. So Shaak Ti says, no, the clones belong to the Republic. You know what I mean? They belong to the Republic. So, and this is a Jedi talking. So in her mind, like these clones, they own these clones. You know what I mean? Kind of like to do what they want. You know, kind of like, you know, kind of like in a way like slavery. So like these clones are not free in any way, and you would think that they wouldn't want them to have creative thinking. You would think that they want them to like follow orders whenever they were asked to or told to.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think you could definitely look at it that way. I think maybe it comes down to who their general is, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I do really see with Anakin's 501st that, you know, you have some free thinkers. You have, I mean, look at Fives and Rex even throughout the series. They kind of do, you know, they're like Anakin. You know, that Anakin gets his orders and he's like, you know, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it my way. And a lot of times you see these clones doing those things. So, but yeah, I think that they are, I mean, ultimately, I think they are viewed as property or I guess, or just, you know, soldiers, nothing, you know, just soldiers. Like they're nothing else to anybody other than themselves, you know, amongst each other. They want to, like you touched on last week, you know, they want more, I guess. They don't want to just be soldiers and numbers. They want to be people.
Yeah. Individuals. Yeah.
But, you know, they're overlords, if you want to look at it that way, see them as chess pieces. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to bring up. I think it could be looked at either way.
Yeah. Maybe it's like up to like I'm sure that arc we're going to cover one of these days, you know, what's his name? Krell?
Oh yeah, General Krell.
Yeah, he definitely treated them like pawns, you know, for his plans. But yeah, it's probably up to like whoever's in charge.
Yeah, because he didn't even refer to them by their names. He referred to them as their CT. So
right.
he was like, definitely where you have guys like Obi-Wan and Anakin. They call their troopers by their names, or Ahsoka does as well. Even Yoda, I think, the few times he's with, you know, some clone troopers. So yeah, I think it definitely depends on. Like I could see Shakti being, well, but she calls him Fives, but I could see her being more by the book, like these soldiers are mine. You know? Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like there's any like for the clones at least, there's no indentured servitude. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's like you're gonna be a soldier till you die. Like there's no retirement plan for them. There's no like, hey, you do so many missions and you're done. Like you're done being a soldier. You can go and live about your life. Like it just seems like it's a one-way street with these clones. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of greener pastures or whatnot for them.
Yeah.
Seems like war, battle, following orders. That's all they have to live. That's all they can live for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't really have another form of life. But,
which falls back to you as you know, comparing them to the droids. You know, they have one setting, basically, one programming,
one purpose.
Yep.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is. There was that one episode I thought was kind of cool. I forget what season it was, where they're on the clones and I think Anakin are on a planet and they run into a deserter clone, and he's got a family, and I don't know if he was married to the Twi'lek and they had a kid, or if he just it was like an adopted family type of a situation, but he was a farmer, I believe. Yeah, I wish I remembered what episode that was, but that was kind of cool. Like you just see this clone. He's like, nope, I don't want to be a soldier anymore. I'm going to go and live my life.
Right. You would think a lot more would end up that way.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to that guy during Order 66.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no one was there to execute the order, though. So he probably was just living his life still.
Right.
So in this episode too, the next part when Fives and AZ get back to the facility, AZ's in charge of getting Fives some clothing or armor. He's like, "Excuse me, trooper. I think the fugitive's over here." And he's like, "All right, let's check it out." And it's just one guy. Like, don't you think he'd have been like, "Hey, we might have a lead on the fugitive." It was
be
just,
armed and dangerous. Yeah.
right. They just just one guy follows him and obviously gets clubbed and gets his armor taken. I just thought that was kind of
stole our suits.
nice.
Gonna get you for illegal parking.
Can't you read? This is no parking.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that was kind of goofy that it was just the one clone went, but then AZ leads Fives over to like a chamber that holds the records of all the beings they've ever cloned. I thought this was kind of interesting because it seems like the Kaminoans have been cloning for a long time. What else have they been cloning?
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. What else could they have been cloning?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder if they'll ever dig into that.
Yeah. Good point. I mean, they could reclone all kinds of things. I mean, they have to be good at it if they were like contracted to take on this order by Sifo Dyas.
Right. So, what do they do? They pop the chip in like a computer or something?
Yeah, and kind of compare it to Jango Fett's DNA to see if Jango Fett had the same chip or the same tumor. And they find out that he didn't. And so, forget if it's Fives or AZ to say, they kind of look into, let's look into the clones at the early stage and see if that chip is there.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to like the very first stage and they don't see it. Then AZ's like, well, let's try the third stage of like the embryonic state. And then they find it there. So then somewhere in that time frame is when the chip gets implanted. And then Fives is like, every single clone has this chip. And he kind of has this realization that this chip is a lot bigger thing going on here than he thought. Did we skip over the part where Fives gets his chip taken out?
Yeah.
I thought we did.
Yeah, because no, I know, because that part kind of, it's almost like that part, and then when they check the embryos is almost like the same. It's almost like they could have done all that in one shot, but they split it. So like you said, they checked the match. They tried to match the tumor to Jango Fett, and then that's, I think, when AZ discovers that it's not fully organic. I think, right. Or was that last time?
No, that's when he finds out. Yeah, it's not completely organic.
So that's when I think Five starts to wonder, if he has one maybe. But then everyone kind of starts slowly walking out of that chamber, and Fives is like, is there another exit from this place? And that's when Shakti and the clones come barging in, and I thought it was kind of funny here. In my note for the episode, I wrote plot armor because the clones, I know they're not supposed to kill him, I guess, but they're shooting at Fives like a stormtrooper would. They're just missing every shot.
Oh, yeah.
When typically we've talked about, the clones being pretty sharpshooters, and
they were just trying to stun him too, I think. They were using the stunning setting.
Oh, that's right. But they were still missing. Like
they were missing.
Come on, you guys are better than stormtroopers. What are you doing? So yeah, my question for that part was, so they go up that hatch and seal it. Why didn't Shakti cut through it with her lightsaber? She's just like, oh darn, let's walk away.
Maybe she's giving Fives a little bit more time to figure out, because I mean she says that he's not running away, he's trying to investigate. So
true, very true.
So maybe this is her way of like being, well, I slipped through my fingers again. Oh, I'll get you next time.
That's pretty good. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
So that's when their AZ and Fives are talking about Fives saying, I know there's one in me, you have to take it out. And AZ's like, but you could die. And Fives is like, I trust you. I'm like, wow, I don't know. Like I said, I love this bond that these guys are forming. It's like, they should revive Fives and make a Fives and AZ crime show.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh, then they go and check like where you were at with the embryos. Do they take Fives chip out?
Yeah, at that point. Yeah, they make it their way to like a sterile room, and then they start the surgery. And it looks pretty wicked, like spinning like round. Like he's gonna get his skull opened up. It's kind of messed up.
Right?
Fives is, yeah. It's like then they show and kind of like a weird cut because it's like they show the beginning of the surgery and then they show like two like Kaminoans coming out of the water. I don't know what's supposed to symbolize, but like,
yeah, I didn't really catch that either.
It's kind of like a weird transition, but it's kind of like two Kaminoans floating over the water, coming into the city, and just kind of like flying into the city, and then we're back in like the control room, and I don't know, it's supposed to symbolize something, but I'm not catching it.
Yeah, me neither. Kind of. I saw the shot and I'm like, this is weird every time I watched it, but I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what they were trying to symbolize. What's the symbology?
What's the symbolism? Yeah, I'm like glad I'm not the only one that thought that was a little off, but that's cool.
Is that the part? Yeah, that's the part that cracked me up when Fives and AZ are going, I think, to check the embryos. And he tells AZ to try to act normal. And he's like, ooh la 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 la, hello.
He's like, was that normal?
Fives is like, for you, AZ? Yeah. I'm just like, it was hilarious. Obviously, they're not very sneaky because Fives never put his helmet back on. That might have helped a little bit there, but, you see a clone with one of those droids. I don't even know what kind of droid he is yet. They're pretty easy to spot at that point. So those Kaminoans alert Nala Se, not Shakti.
Right. Nala Se gets alerted. Yeah.
Right.
All sneaky like.
Yep. But not too sneaky because Shakti is watching. She definitely was a couple steps behind, I guess.
Right.
And that's when they discover that all the clones have the chip, and Nala Se shows up, and Fives is like pointing his gun at her. And she basically just tells him everything, for the most part.
She says that the Jedi were the reason why they have the chip.
Yep. Nice, right? Nice little, she's trying to spin it against the Jedi, maybe turn Fives against the Jedi. Chaos is a ladder, right? If you got all the chaos, then things can happen and the bad guys will figure out a way to win. Yeah, Fives looks a little betrayed there, right?
He does. He seems like he's pretty much at his wit's end because like he's been following the Jedi's like word since he can remember. Well, yeah, since he started battle. So come to find out that it's a Jedi that put the chip in there. That kind of crushed him.
I know, he's just like, the Jedi had this done to us, and she tells him it's not uncommon for inhibitor chips to be implanted in clones. And, she said there's never been a problem, which, before. Okay, so we just talked about how they've probably been cloning people for, who knows, hundreds of years, maybe more. And she's like, there's never been a problem. That kind of takes me back to where I was saying, was that malfunction in Tub sabotage? Because all of a sudden there's a problem with these inhibitor chips. It just seems a little off to me.
Right. Well, you do get to see the chips side by side. I think AZ3 kind of says that Tup's chip is deteriorated compared to Fives' chip.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever happened, whatever the sabotage or just natural process, but whatever happened, his chip was definitely not as, or Tup's chip wasn't as stable as Fives' chip. So definitely something to look into that they probably could have figured out if they made it to a medical facility or something, like they were trying to get to.
Yeah.
Some more investigating on the chip itself. Figured out if there was some sort of like deteriorating type of like some kind of sort of like substance that's deteriorating it or what. But yeah, I mean, somebody could be pulling the strings of this whole thing.
It's definitely, I think, a possibility at least, but I mean, it's also possible that it could have malfunctioned on its own. I just think that she's either, blowing smoke up there about there never being a problem before, or, if there truly was never a problem with these inhibitor chips in other types of clones, just seems a little off to me. They'll probably never delve into it or anything. That's just me kind of grasping at straws.
I know that's about.
So, Shaak Ti shows up and he tells her that, the Jedi had the chips implanted and Tup's malfunctioned. That's why things went bad. And, AZ shows her the chips, like you said.
Right.
And Fives is like, these chips have to be removed, otherwise the entire Republic army could be compromised. It's like the common theme of these 4 episodes. They keep saying that. Nala Se is quick to argue that there's no proof. It was just a malfunction or a virus or whatever. And
yeah,
Fives is like, kind of pushing her with that gun barrel a little bit. Like he's getting tired of her. You could tell.
Well, I think Nala Se is probably trying to push Fives to do something, because that would prove the fact that like the inhibitor chip is supposed to work, or
right?
Because if he took his out, she wants him to kind of prove the fact that they need to be in there because they become unstable. So I think that's what she's starting to do, that trying to like kind of like light a fuse, light a spark to kind of like
get him to snap. Yeah.
Get him to snap. Yeah, get him to snap. Get him to do something brash to show Shaak Ti, like, look, I told you so. We need those chips in there, or else it's going to happen all over the place.
Yeah, she immediately says that he has to be terminated when she finds out the chip is out. I'm like, that's pretty intense.
Right.
So,
and I think this is when they have that little battle about who the clones belong to.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Shaak Ti wins by saying they belong to the Republic.
Right. Yeah, and that pretty much ends that episode with, Shaak Ti saying, no, we're going to take you and the chips, and we're going to, investigate all this on Coruscant. But she wants...
Right. I think you're going to say the same thing I was going to say. Like,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Nala Se wants to be in on it. She wants to go too.
And also, doesn't Shaak Ti say something about taking them, taking Fives and the chips to the Jedi Temple first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the start of the next...
She wants them to go to Coruscant to go to the Chancellor. She wants to go to the Chancellor first. At that point, at the end of the episode, she wants them to go to the Chancellor and have him see all the evidence.
Oh. Okay. See, I was confused because when the next episode starts, they go to the Chancellor, and I had thought that they wanted to go to the Jedi Temple first.
Yeah, she said that originally, but then she changes her tune and wants everything to go to the Chancellor. She wants to go straight to the top.
Okay. Poor Fives.
Yeah. Going to the Jedi Temple would have been a way better idea.
Right. 100%. So I do like the ending of the episode when Fives says to AZ, I'll see you on the other side. The other side of what? And Fives laughs, droids. It's It was pretty like kind of, not happy ending, but kind of after a bit of a stressful episode.
Here we have another clone on a gurney and strapped in, and kind of doesn't bode. I mean, like they can't just take him walking; they have to like strap him up, and it's not a good sign of what's to come.
Right? Yeah, very interesting too, because he's mostly stable there.
Yeah,
he's not doing anything. Nothing really happens until the next episode when Nalase injects him with whatever, and then he starts to kind of be dangerous.
And that kind of like helps your point about the sabotage, I would think, because we clearly see that she is drugging him.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, well, before we jump into all that, since we letter graded the first 2 episodes, what would you give Fugitive? Well, because it's got like a pretty cool getaway scenes, and we find out a little bit more about the chip and when they get implanted and the clones. That's some pretty cool info. We get to see Fives kind of like take the bull by the horns and try to get down to the bottom of things, and we get to see some DNA stuff with Jango Fett, and Dark Tyrannus was in there. I'd give it like a B+. The episode, good solid B+. Nice. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about what I would give it. I don't think it was as good as the first episode in the arc.
Right.
This was good, but that one was just like we had said, kind of like a mini Star Wars film. But yeah, for all the things you just said about this one, I would say like a B. It was good. It definitely wasn't a bad episode. It just, to me, it kind of repeated some of the things from Conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
There were some repeats of things, but it was fun. It had a lot of funny moments with AZ, the Fives and stuff like that. And it had some tense moments. So I don't know. I liked it, obviously. Definitely not saying anything bad about it.
No, the stakes were starting to rise too, as far as what's at stake here. The whole Order 66 could be compromised if this gets found out. Like what the chips, who really is in charge of chips and what the chips really are for. So a layer of the onion's been peeled back, but it's still not enough. So
right,
but it's still a known thing. It's the Jedis know that the clones have chips in them. That's going to be known.
Yeah, good point.
For what their purpose is, they don't know, but they do know that the clones are kind of being held back from something.
And they don't bother to figure it out. You would think when you have...
Not even a care.
Right. Oh, these people that are, watching my back and I'm watching their back have some kind of, chip in them. Maybe we should do our own research,
Right.
Like you said, I forget which episode it was with Obi-Wan. Something's not right.
They're not great investigators, that's for sure.
No, and look at Fives, man. Fives is like a little detective, him and AZ. They're like all over this, man. And they figure it out.
They figured it out.
Always, like I say, good, man. The good guys are always so close, but so far away.
I think Darth's helmet said it best.
Oh, I know he did. Tell everybody, Cuatros, what does he say?
He says, because good is dumb.
It's so true. Good old Lord Helmet. So the next episode is called Orders. And
Orders.
It shifts right to Nalase injecting Fives with who knows what, some kind of drug.
The drug.
Yeah.
Nalase's up to no good. What's he gonna do?
They get to Coruscant, they touch down, and there's good old Palps.
Ha.
The way he talks is so like condescending.
Totally.
What is the problem, trooper? Just like,
oh, there's a chip I see. Oh,
yeah, right?
yeah. And he's like, a separatist conspiracy from the beginning of the Clone Wars. Isn't that a little hard to believe, Shakti?
Yeah, right. Right, directs it right to Shakti, and she's like, "I agree," or whatever.
Yeah, isn't that hard to believe? Oh
Yeah.
man, he does a good job.
Right, and then he also mentions the virus when Fives is telling him about the chip. You know, he's something like, "Are you sure it's not a virus?"
Oh right.
So this one picks up really quick. I mean, it slows down a little bit, but it picks up pretty quick with Palpatine saying he wants to speak with Fives alone. So what does he say? Something like, I want the trooper to feel like he can be heard or something, or feel like what he has to say will be heard.
Yeah, I think he's kind of trying to put Fives at ease, saying, hey, we're going to have a man-to-man talk here and just not have Shakti or Nalase in the room. You can tell me what you want and we'll go from there. But
right.
But then Palpatine uses that as like for a different reason.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he totally sets him up.
Right.
Pretty impressive here. Shakti's like, before that, Shakti's like, no, you shouldn't talk to him alone. But Palpatine's like, whatever he says, I won't be alone. I have my guards.
Oh, right.
Dude, check out these guards. Those are clones, right?
Yeah.
They totally, like, they do whatever Palpatine says, man. You would think, that's just me thinking, I guess, these clones they all preach brotherhood, right? And they totally let Palpatine frame one of their brothers right in front of them.
They're the red guards, right? The red.
Yeah, the red armor.
Armored guards, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Palpatine, because we don't see what he said or did. We just hear the commotion and go back in after the fact, and Fives has got him at gunpoint. So
right.
We don't know if Palps was like, in his ear, quietly whispering to him, like, you're absolutely right, and I'm going to win, or I don't know what he could have said.
Well, I mean, Fives does he tell Anakin and Rex? He tells them that Palpatine told him that he was involved or part of it. I think the arrogance of a Sith Lord, I think he probably did tell him. You know, because hey, you've got this crazy clone running around saying all these conspiracies. No one's going to believe it anyway. So the truth is out there, but no one's going to believe it because this guy's losing his mind.
It's an uncredible source, right?
Right. So, Shakti, what does she do? She force pushes Fives to get him away from Palpatine, and Fives
saves
gets
his
up.
life.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Fives runs away, and as Shakti goes after him, Palpatine's like, he must have gone mad without his chip.
implanting the little suggestions in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Little suggestions at the right moment.
So he's so.
You just do the thinking for somebody,
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them put in what you want them to think at that point. It's pretty funny.
I watched the episode twice, and I caught that the second time. I'm just like shaking my head. I'm like, there it is. He's he's getting that out there. So then there was that chase scene with Shakti and Fives, and the music I think helps that move along pretty well. I liked the music there. And then you cut, Fives gets away, and you cut to the Jedi talking about that.
Oh, one little thing. Go right, like just rewinding a little bit. There's a scene where Fives is like racing through like a hall or something, and then he leaps through like Shakti's like, close the blast doors, right? And Fives jumps right through it as it's closing. Totally reminded me of like Han Solo going through the blast door.
Awesome.
which reminded me of Spaceballs.
You've captured their stunt doubles.
So they're stunt doubles.
Oh my gosh, I love that part.
Oh, it's almost the Spaceballs almost does a chopper shot like from the same angle and everything. It's so hilarious. But go another classic Star Wars jumping through the blast door type moment.
Dude, I didn't even catch that. That's awesome.
They thought they put that in there.
That's very cool. So, Princess Vespa. I need to go watch Spaceballs now.
It's fresh in my little Force loved it. She loves the
really?
Spaceballs. Yeah, she wants to watch it over and over again.
Awesome.
She's a little concerned with all the swearing in it, but though how it makes fun of the Star Wars, she says she can't get enough of it.
Dude, it's definitely one of the best movies.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they cut to the Jedi discussing everything that's going on, and Mace Windu says, Palpatine was moved to Senate quarters and the perimeter has been secured. However, Jedi involvement has not been requested. And Anakin, Palpatine's his boy. He finds this messed up. He's like, that's a little odd, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't want any Jedi involvement. Mace Windu or Yoda, I can't remember what Yoda says at that point. Basically, we need to find the truth. We need to get fives. And Mace Windu once again mentions, plots involving clones and Jedi. Like we said last week, Mace Windu knows exactly what's going on. Why is... Come on, man.
No one's listening to him. Yoda, all Yoda's got to say is like, yeah.
Right. He demands the fives be brought in alive, of course. That's what they want. They keep hinting that fives is not going to make it.
Right.
And Anakin's like, fives is part of the 501st. Me and Rex will handle it. And then Shakti kind of repeats what Palpatine said. Something along the lines of, be careful because fives might not be the man you knew since his chip is gone.
Yeah. See, then once again, they have a chip. Clones are chipped. Warning, danger, danger. Clones are chipped. They're there to do something. They can't say it any clearer.
Right.
And this is way before, Revenge of the Sith takes place. Like, do not trust these clones. They are not what they appear. They cannot accept it. What's the fortune cookie on this one here?
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, the popular belief isn't always the correct one.
Right?
See? Ooh.
It's not the virus. It's not the malfunction. It's the programming.
Yeah. But we can say because we got hindsight. Hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
And they don't have hindsight, so I guess I get it. But
very true.
It was all the writing was on the wall. They just had to read it.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I wanted to look this up. I don't know if you did, and if you didn't, no big deal. That clone bar that Fives goes to is called 79s.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that or
79? No. Well, does it have to do with some sort of battle or anything, or?
I was thinking a clone, maybe. I don't know. There's 99, maybe 79 or something.
I figured it struck me odd that there was a 9 in it. Why it's called 70? Is that what you're asking? Why it's called 79s? We can speculate, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any. I don't even have any speculation other than maybe it's maybe it's the name of the clone that opened the bar. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, because it's 79's apostrophe S showing possession. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's clone number 79. That opened up the bar. That's not bad. I can see that.
Maybe. I don't know. Listeners, let us know what you think.
Yeah. What's your theory on why it's called 79s? That's a good question.
So yeah, he goes to 79s and I like the little back and forth with the drunk clones and the cab driver. The drunk clones are basically like, "You're paying for this, buddy," and because Five said something like, bill it to the Republic. Oh yeah, because he didn't pay him, and he's like, yeah, just bill it to the Republic. And those drunk clones are like, laughing or whatever. And the cab driver, I don't remember most of it. I remember what the cab driver said when he drives away. He's like, "Your mother's a droid."
Yeah, it's got to be something pretty bad. I mean, being compared to a droid, so there it is. It's it's pretty bad stuff. But
Right.
before that, Fives is like, have you heard that the clones are gonna like have a chip in them, and they're gonna they're in charge of like
Yeah.
they could be compromised, and like he's basically telling that cab driver, what's going on. And the cab
Mhm.
driver's like, I heard stories like that all the time.
Right.
I'm a cab driver. That's
Uh,
pretty funny.
yeah, it's funny. He's trying to get that story out there.
Yeah.
Just nobody's buying into it. He ends up finding go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Finds Kix and Jesse at the bar.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny. Kix is in the bathroom, like fixing his hair that he doesn't have, just making him more human, And then, of course, not too far behind are Palpatine's guards. They show up while Fives talks to Kix. I gotta say again, D. Bradley Baker acting all these clones out, man.
Oh yeah.
Like when Kix and Fives are talking, it does not at all sound like the same guy doing both parts.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing.
It is amazing stuff.
Yeah,
I don't see it as one guy. I see it as separate, for sure.
yeah, same here. Dude, he is, I don't know, he's a master. He's awesome. So, they do that back and forth between Kix and Fives. Fives basically telling him he was framed, and, he needs to talk to, I think he mostly wanted to talk to Anakin, right?
Yeah.
And, Kix is like, I don't know if I can get you Anakin, but I could definitely get you Rex.
Right, to kind of set up like a meet somewhere.
Yeah. And you can tell Kix believes Fives. He doesn't think Fives is guilty. Then it's on, man. Fives goes to the meetup. There's a droid following him. And
right. A probe droid.
Right. Those blasted probe droids.
Always watching, sneaking around.
Then Rex and Anakin show up, and Rex is like, I hope he knows what he's doing. I think here, and I don't know, stop me if I'm jumping past anything you want to touch on, but I think where Fives fails is trapping Rex and Anakin in that ray shield.
Yeah.
Because, I get why he's doing it. At this point, I think whatever Nala Se put in him is totally, I mean, you see him, he's like, his movements and everything, he's definitely freaked out from something. But I think if he hadn't been injected, he would have been his usual self. He just would have still been on the run. So I get he's getting paranoid. He's kind of lost it at this point. So I get why he traps them in the ray shield. But if he hadn't, Anakin definitely would have stopped those clones from shooting him. Probably would have stopped Fives from picking up a pistol.
Right.
Because he's a Jedi. He's going to, and especially Anakin, after everything with Ahsoka in the previous season, he wants to get to the bottom of these things too. So he's not going to just let Fives get killed. Spoiler that I just said Fives is dead, but we're almost there anyways.
Right. I figured it's only right that you talk about this part.
I guess. So he gets them in the ray shield, and he's trying. You can tell he's struggling, man. He's trying to get it out, and he's like, the truth is in here. It's all in here,
Yeah.
And Rex. The one thing I noticed was Captain Rex kind of puts his hand on the back of his head, like,
Yeah.
Like, thought that was interesting. But then here comes the Chancellor's guards. No, before that though, Fives tells them that the Chancellor's in on it. He's behind this, or he's at least involved, and Anakin's like, no. He's like,
Yeah.
he wasn't buying that at all. And Fives was like, he's like, the Chancellor's going to kill me. And Anakin says something like, didn't you just try to kill him? And Fives is all like, you don't believe me, I think he says. He's like, oh, you don't believe me. And he's losing it. And that's when those guards come in and they point the guns, and Fives is like, no, and he picks up that pistol, and I think it's Commander Fox, I think, is the guy in charge.
Right.
Yeah, he shoots him, and that's it, man. Fives.
That's it for Fives.
Yeah, he drops to the ground, and Anakin's like, get these darn ray shields off of us. And Rex is immediately right there. Poor Rex, dude. He sees all of his brothers die.
Yeah, he does.
And you can see it in the expressions on his face. It bums me out, the scene. I mean, obviously, because Fives is one of my favorite characters, but it's just so well written, and the music behind it, it's sad, and they make sure you are sad while you're watching it. And Fives is like, what did he say? I only wanted to do my duty. And this takes you back to when Tup was dying, right? It's almost the same scene. The mission, the nightmares
are over.
And then everybody kind of, you got Rex and Anakin kneeling down in front of him, and then the rest of those clones, I think some of them take their helmets off, and they all kind of circle around Fives, and then he dies. And I'm just like, really, man?
I know. I was surprised that they killed him off.
Yeah.
Because I thought this was like one of those guys that were like untouchable, like a Rex or a Cody. I thought Fives was right there too, and like the rookies, like the Domino Squad.
Domino Squad, and
pretty much all wiped out.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Ones. Yeah.
Well, at this point, they're all dead. But
at this point, they're all dead. So I was really surprised that the story went here, and surprised that they tackled this part of the story, because it's, I mean, all the answers are there. It's all pretty clear what's going on with the clones. The Jedi gets killed. The inhibitor chip in Tup was malfunctioning, so obviously that has something to do with killing Jedi. The only thing is, when Fives takes his chip out, he doesn't go after any Jedi. So,
good catch, dude.
So what leads me to believe is that chip makes them go after Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Like, after watching these episodes, that's what the chips do. They not inhibit. They kind of hibit.
Yeah, exactly. But why didn't the Jedi pick up on what you just said, man?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Fives isn't trying to kill us. His chip is gone.
Right.
Wow.
Right. We should take out all the chips so no Jedi get killed. Like, we should issue a recall, like, if this was a car. But because it's only happened once, it's probably not enough times. They needed it to happen probably several more. Thinking about a recall, you don't just issue a recall when one thing happens once.
Very true.
Unless it's super bad. But they should have issued a recall on all the clones and had them come in.
Which I guess, in a way, they do what you're saying. Palpatine, the Palpatine and the Jedi are discussing the situation after Fives dies and all of that, and he ensures that all the clones have been inoculated. To rewind really quick, he says Nala Se's research missed something. There was a parasite that they picked up in the water at the cantina on Ringo Vinda, and then he says, be assured that all the clones have been inoculated. So it's basically like, don't worry anymore about the clones. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Go back to your regular programming.
Keep using them as you will. Don't worry.
Right. Then the music kind of goes dark, and he's like, we can finally put this wretched situation behind us. We must direct our attention back to the war at hand. Each day we grow closer and closer to victory. Yeah. And I'm just like, and I picked up on Yoda sitting behind him when he's saying that line. Yoda looks a little unsure at this point.
Yeah.
I think.
But he's not going to question anything.
Even the wise Jedi Master Yoda.
Yep. Well, that's why he went into hiding, because, he thought, it was all right in front of him. He was in charge. Or one of the people in charge. I think we had this conversation.
Yeah.
He was technically in charge.
I know. That shows how powerful the dark side is, man.
Mm-hmm.
That these Jedi are, the Council, dude, they're all, probably the most powerful, aside from, well, I guess Anakin is on the Council at some point, but he's not a Jedi Master. But, they're all powerful. And this dark side, just the Shroud of the Dark Side, destroys them.
Absolutely.
Their ability to use the Force is diminished, as Mace Windu says in Attack of the Clones, I believe. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just the darkness of all of this. It's crazy. So that ends the episode.
Yeah.
Palpatine, smiling. No, actually, it doesn't, though. Right? Isn't there like a... Oh, no, he talks to Dooku at the end.
Yeah, Dooku. Right? Yeah, they have a little powwow. And a little high-five sesh.
And then I wish I could do Palpatine's evil cackle that closes this episode. Yeah. I love that laugh.
Palpatine tells Dooku that no one can stop Order 66. I don't know. It's a common theme with all the Clone Wars. Whenever Palpatine's around, regardless if he's Darth Sidious or Palpatine, he always wins. He wins. Palpatine wins whenever, even if he loses, he wins. So they even found the chip. Fives. They found a chip. They know that chips exist. They know what the chips could potentially be all about. And somehow, some way, Palpatine finds a way to win the day. And then ultimately win the war. Right.
Back to your Spaceballs line. Evil always wins because good is dumb. So the episode, I'm giving this one an F. No.
Right. This one. Fives died in this one. I can't.
But it was such a good episode. I think this one is up there with the first one in this arc, for me at least. So absolutely. I'm going to give this a solid A.
I'm going to echo that sentiment. Like that.
Nice.
Like that. Give it a solid A as well. Just for the fact that our boy Fives, mainly your boy, but he was definitely a good clone. Made it all the way to the 501st ARC Trooper Fives. Talking to Palps, he just wasn't sly enough to beat Palps at his own game. Palps was too clever.
Mm-hmm.
So he went up a little too high, and he got shown who's in charge, really.
But he was the only clone to figure this out and to almost stop it from happening.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty figuring Dan cool, man.
For real. Well put.
That's definitely another reason why I love this character, is fighting for good all the way to the end and just being so close.
So close.
I don't know. Rip Fives, man.
Rip.
This was a heck of an episode, and Cuatros, I think that this overall arc, I'm giving an A+.
Yes. I myself as yes, an A+ for the arc as well. The Fives arc.
They really should name it.
They should. I think these episodes are called the Lost episodes.
Yes.
But I think that's the entire season. I don't think it's just these stories.
Some of the best Star Wars in these 4 episodes, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I got to go back and rewatch them and actually like fully give them my attention, because like I've said, in the past, sometimes I watch this while I'm doing other things. It's just on in the background, and doing last week's podcast and now this week's based on these 4 episodes, it gave me a chance to really kind of focus. I'm sure I still missed a bunch of stuff, but it gave me a chance to focus on it and really look at what was happening here. And I think I was as blown away in these rewatches as I was the first time I watched them a few years ago. So
that's good.
Yeah,
they hold up.
Yeah, they totally hold up. So I mean, I guess that's about it, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, we did have an email from our boy Jabba the Butt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I almost forgot. I had it open on my computer here and almost forgot about it.
Well, that's good. He heard our call.
Right. Good job. Good job. Jabba the Butt. It's good to hear that you're still out there. He says, "Sup, CAR, Jabba the Butt here. I guess I have to send an email because you called me out on your last show, so here it goes."
He's sly.
So he says, "I just have a quick question." And Fours,
yeah,
he's asking you a question, so I hope you're ready.
Okay.
Says, "How did Fours, in parentheses Cuatros, pick his name? I don't think there was a Fours clone. What gives?"
Oh, good question. Good time to bring this up too, I guess, because we kind of know why Fives is your name, right?
Yeah, it was good timing, Jabba the Butt.
Good. Jabba the Butt is on top of it. Well, it's really kind of. Well, when I heard you, I didn't see. Okay. When I picked my name, I didn't watch the Clone Wars. I didn't know any of the clones' names or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've heard of Rex and Cody and those guys, but they didn't cross my mind at all. What I thought is like, well, I'm picking my favorite number, which is 4.
Nice.
And I'm going to be Clone Trooper 4s. If you're going to be 5s, I want to be 4s. I think it's that simple. It was that kind of like, there's not much to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a 5s, there has to be a 4s. And I did a little bit of research, and I come to find out that there is a 4s, or at least there's a fan page for them. Somebody on Star Wars Fandom .com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I looked up Clone Trooper 4s, and there's a guy. His name is CT number is CT264444. His nickname is 4s. And he was a clone trooper, and he served in the Grand Army of the Republic. He joined the 780th Attack Battalion under the command of CC-80 42-5518, which is my birthday, by the way, 518.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Nickname Slash because of his slash in his number. So
Slash. Nice.
Slash. So wherever Slash shows up, that's where 4s is. So what did Jabba the Butt say? He didn't think there was a 4s? Is that what he said? Or?
Yeah.
Well, somebody made a page somewhere, and looks like there was a 4s. So that's just coincidence, actually. But
now let me ask you.
Yeah.
Did you create this page?
No, I did not. I did not create this. I don't even know how to start creating a page on these things.
All right. I figured you didn't. I was just messing with you. To touch on that, though, it's kind of funny because 5 is my favorite number. And it just kind of worked out that 5s is my favorite clone. So,
oh, nice.
So it's kind of not too far off from how you came up with your name.
Yeah. But I'm on record several times saying, like, if I did know clones and I did have a say or pick a favorite clone, my clone would be Echo. Mm-hmm. So I should have waited, I guess, to pick a name or taken a suggestion or two, but I don't know. I was just being me, I guess, and being impulsive and like, I want 4s. Give me 4s. And it is my favorite number, so I like the name.
Yeah.
I like the Spanish twist on it too now, Cuatros. Oh, I'm making it my own. And you never know. We write the 4s story.
Right. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
So good question, Jabba the Butt. Good to hear from you. And I guess that's going to wrap us up this week, man.
Oh, yeah. So, keep those emails, those questions coming. Email us at clonearmyradio@gmail.com. Or if you even want to just tweet us, you can tweet us at Clone Army Radio. We even got an Instagram. So, an Instagram is Clone Army Radio as well. So, yeah. If you guys have any suggestions on why the bar is named 79s, let us know. And I think it's cool that they've got a little spot to let their hair or not hair down.
Right.
To be themselves
be themselves, hang out, party it up, and
yeah,
I think it's great. They need that
for sure. I mean, that's pretty much their only safe haven, and they take advantage of it, which is great. And it'd be good to find out your thoughts on why 79 is such a why the bar is called 79s. There's really nothing out there about it.
All right, so Cuatros, catch you next time. Clone Army, catch you next time. The Schwartz will be with you always.
Yes, may the Schwartz be with you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Clone Army Radio. Email us with thoughts or questions at clonearmyradio@gmail.com. Please remember to click subscribe so you don't miss the newest episodes.
Do it, Admiral Piet.